Hello there, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and here's that famous flowchart again. And this time we're going to be talking about trinomials where a is not 1. Okay, this is the most challenging of the different types of factoring, although some students seem to be set on their way of not learning perfect square trinomials, and I got to tell you, that's not an okay option. It's not okay to go, well, I just don't want to learn that one. You really need to learn the perfect square trinomials. One, it's easy, and two, you should know your perfect squares, so therefore identifying a PST should be pretty simple. And then it factors in just a couple of seconds. We don't want to take the approach that, oh, I just won't learn that one because I can do it this other way. We've got to have more than one tool in our bag of tricks. All right. So we're going to talk about trinomials when a is not 1. And I will do a couple problems for you. And then I have 4 for you to try. Okay. So I'm going to get started here. By the way, I apologize for the sound quality on the previous 2 videos if you watch them. I was in a car recording them while my wife was driving, and so you were hearing a lot of road sounds and that kind of stuff. Here I'm in my room recording, and it should be a much better environment. All right, so a is not 1. There's no GCF in problem number 1. First thing I checked, GCF. A is not 1. They're not perfect squares, A and C. So I'm going to list the factors of A and of C. And now I have to multiply one of the factors of A by one of the factors of C. Now, some of you simply ignored me when I taught this the first time around. You cannot mix and match factors. For example, I can't decide to multiply 6 by 1 and 3 by 5. This makes no sense whatsoever. Why not? Because 6 times 3 does not make 6. These are the factors. I have to treat them as pairs. I can't go separating them or splitting them. So if I want to do 6 times 1, I am forced to do 1 times 5. Okay? If I want to do 3 times 1, then I'm forced to do 2 times 5. Now, because C is positive, I'm going to add the products together that I get. What do I want to get? I want to get a 17, a positive 17. All right? So let's see if I can do this. I think I'm going to try 6 times 5 is 30. Well, if I add, I've already at 30, I'm going to go way over 17. So that's not going to work. 6 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 6 plus 5 is 11, not 17. It's not going to work. Oh, I think I see it. Let's go with 3 times 5. Now 3 times 5 is 15. And 2 times 1 is 2. Hey, if I add 2 and 15, I get 17, don't I? I want both of these to be positive, right? So I get positive 17. So now watch how this factors. It is so simple, okay? But you just got to follow the steps. Don't make up your own steps. Don't take half of my steps. Do them all. So I'm going to put a 2x here. Where am I getting a 2x from? Because factor of 6. Factor of 6x squared, 2x. That forces the 3x to go here. And now this is the part some of you just decided to skip on, and you get it wrong because you don't follow it. Little smile, big smile. Okay, so what did I multiply the 2 by? Well, let's see. Following this little path, I multiplied it by 1. Let's go to the 2x, follow the big smile, and put a 1 there. Now I want it to be a positive 2. That's why I wrote positive 2. So it's going to be a plus 1 there. 2x times positive 1 is going to be a positive 2x. All right, I multiplied 3 by 5. So I'm going to put a 5 here because the 3x goes to there. All right, it's going to be a positive 5. And there you go, it's factored. Now I should check by double distributing. I'll leave that up to you. All right, hold on 1 second. James, you're too loud. Can you hear me? You're too loud. I can hear everything you're saying. Sorry about that. My son's playing with a friend of his down the basement, and they are being too loud. Okay, so let's get back to the video here. So I'm going to check for a GCF. There isn't one. There's three terms. Going to check and see if it's a perfect square trinomial. No, not a perfect square trinomial. A is not one, so I'm going to list the factors of A and of C. Now, I'm not going to write down positives and negatives. Man, it just gets confusing. I'm not trying to make this stuff hard. Okay, I do know that C is negative this time. And since C is negative, I need to subtract my products. So I'm going to do a little guess and check. I'm going to take one of the factors of 12, multiply it by one of the factors of, 14, multiply their partners, not any other factor, just their partners, and then subtract to get a difference of negative 13. Well, let's see here. If I do 12 times 14, it's going to be way too big. 12 times 1, 14 times 1, subtracting, that's not going to get me 13. 24 and 7, no, that won't get me 13. 12 times 7 is going to be way too big. So I'm pretty sure these aren't going to be used. Let's see, 6 times 14 is going to be a huge number. No way. Let's see here. 2 times 14 is 28 minus 6. Nope, that's not going to work. 6 times 7 is 42. Too big. 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. Nope, that's not going to work. I've tried all the possibilities with those two. It's got to be 3 and 4 for the 12. So let's see here. How about this? How about if I get an 8 and then a 21? 21 minus 8 is 13. The only problem is I don't want 21 minus 8 because I want a negative 13. So I'm going to do a negative 21 and a positive 8. That will get me a negative 13. All right, so here we go. I set up to do my factoring. I make my two quantities. The lead position of both quantities are going to be the factors of 12x squared. It's going to be a 3x and a 4x. Could you have written a 4x and a 3x? Sure you could. All right, now I do the big smile and the little smile. Okay, so I multiplied 3 by 7, but I want a negative 21, so that's going to be a negative 7. I multiplied the 4 by 2, so the 4x is going to get multiplied by 2. I want a positive 8, and there we go. Now, if I double distribute, I'm going to get 12x squared minus 13x minus 14. All right, we should be getting better at this by now. Okay, so if you'd like to pause the video and try 3 and 4 on your own, you can. If you just want to watch and take notes, that's okay too. Remember, I'll have 4 problems for you to try in just a minute. All right, I'll try to work faster through these. All right, no GCF, not a perfect square trinomial. I'm going to list the factors of A and C. Okay, 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, and that's it. When I multiply, I'm going to subtract the factors to get positive 13 this time. Positive 13. Well, you know, I'm thinking, geez, is there a 3 times 7? No, there's not. Okay, I was just hoping, you know, with the last problem, it'd be very similar, but it's not. All right, let me see here. 28 and 15, you subtract 28 minus 15. Oh, look at that. That's 13 right off the bat. So I started with the 3 and 7 instead of the 1 and 21. And I got lucky. Okay. Now, do I want it to be 28 minus 15 or do I want it to be 15 minus 28? Well, I want a positive 13. So I want the positive number to be the larger of the two, or the one farther from 0 on the number line. All right, so this is actually getting pretty easy now as I start to get the hang of this. All right, I get my quantities ready. And I'm going to have a 3x and a 7x. Little smile and a big smile. Okay, the 3 got multiplied by a 5, and I want a negative 15. The 7 got multiplied by a 4, and I want a positive 28. And there you go, it's factored. All right, last one for me to do, then 4 for you to try. Trinomial Not a perfect square trinomial, no GCF. Let's list the factors. 1 and 6, 2 and 3, 1 and 7. Well, this won't be too bad. All right, now this time when I multiply factors, I'm going to add, how do I know? Because C is positive, to get negative 17. Well, let me get 17, and then once I have that, I'll go for negative 17. Let's see here. Ooh, okay, 2 times 7 is 14, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now, how the heck am I going to add these and get negative 17? I can add them and get positive 17. Well, what if they were both negative? Yep. So now I set up my quantities. I have a 2x in the lead position and a 3x in the lead position. Little smile, big smile. The 2 got multiplied by a 7. It needs to be a negative 7, so I can get negative 14. The 3 got multiplied by a 1. It needs to be a negative 1. And there you go. Factoring is simple. All right, here are 5 and 6. I want you to go ahead and try them. Pause the video. See if you can get them right. If you're not getting them right, call Mr. Lawrence over. By the way, don't forget about the GCF. Okay, go ahead. Try 5 and 6. Here come my solutions. There's number 5. And if you haven't done number 6 yet, pause the video. And there's number 6, completely factored. Okay? Here comes 7 and 8. Make sure you've paused the video. Here comes my solution for 7. There it is. And if you haven't done 8 yet, pause the video. Uh-oh. Number 8 looks messed up. Looks like I goofed, so I better do that one really quick. I'm not sure what happened there. Well, that would have to be a 5. Tell you what, let me see if I can just figure out what it's supposed to be. That would have to be a 5, and since C is negative, it would have to be a plus 5. Let me double distribute and see if it works. All right, so I'm going to get 6x squared. I like that. And then I'm going to get a positive 5x. And then I'm going to get a minus 18x, which when I combine those, I get negative 13x. And then a negative 3 times a positive 5 is negative 15. Yeah, it works. This is the correct solution. Okay, sorry about that mistake, but hey, life happens, right? What do you do when life hands you some lemons? You make some lemonade. All right, very good. That's it for the video. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good day, everybody.